Hope lives, always. As I was walking outside this morning, and it was finally warm and sunny, it's a little bit humid still, but the rain had stopped. And as it often does after a good rain, I noticed everything was very green and vibrant and growing. The grass, the flowers, but especially the weeds. Now, what's interesting about weeds is that they show up wherever they feel like, not where we want them. But weeds can appear in the driveway, the sidewalk, in our gardens, around the home, wherever they might want to come, regardless of what we do or how we plan for it, the weeds continue to appear. Now, what I found interesting about this and why I thought about it is that it reminded me of just how we're supposed to be as believers as well. There's no specific set place that we're meant to be. We're called everywhere, at all times. We're called to go places we never would have expected to find ourselves. I imagine that the weed growing between the cracks in the driveway never expected its life to take such a turn, and yet it makes a way. It finds a way to finish the purpose that God intended for it. Regardless of what it expected, it's fulfilling the plan that God already set out. Again, no matter what we do, whether we call in the experts or we try to deal with the weeds ourselves, they continue coming. In the same way, over the years and even in common times around the world, a lot of time and effort and energy and money is spent trying to quiet the Word of God, and yet it continues to spread. It continues to bring hope and life and purpose to those who hear it. And we are called to be as the weeds, to go everywhere, all the time. We are called to be resilient. No matter what stands in our way, no matter if they lay a blacktop over us, no matter if the weed killers are called in, no matter what may get in our path, we are called to stand as God intended. We are called to bring the good news all across the world, even in places where it doesn't seem like we belong in the first place. God is on our side, even in the midst of a pandemic, even in the midst where it seems like no good can come. A weed can still grow. We can still bring the good news. And an interesting thing to remember is that out in the wild, there is no such thing as a weed. When we get where we belong, when we find our way to our heavenly home, we won't be weeds anymore. We'll be home. And remember that hope lives, always.